First contact under fire. The void of space stretched endlessly before the GSV Resilience, humanity's newest deep exploration vessel. Captain Maya Vega stood on the bridge, her dark eyes reflecting the stars that filled the view screen. 8 years of commanding exploration vessels had taught her patience, but nothing had prepared her for what they would encounter today. "Captain, I'm detecting an unusual signal," Lieutenant Hiroshi Tanaka reported from his communication station. His fingers danced across the holographic interface, isolating the frequency. "It's not matching any known human pattern." Maya straightened her uniform. After months of charting the unexplored Cygnus arm, this could be the moment they'd been waiting for. Natural phenomenon. Negative. The pattern is definitely artificial and repeating. It's mathematical in nature. Hiroshi's voice held a note of wonder. "I think it's using prime numbers as a baseline." Science Officer Dr. Elena Rodriguez moved to his station, her eyes widening as she studied the pattern. Universal language. Whoever they are, they're trying to be understood by anyone who might be listening. Maya nodded. "Can we determine the source?" Lieutenant Commander Jackson Way, her tactical officer, pulled up a stellar map. Binary star system, approximately 0.7 light-years from our position. The signal originates from the third planet. "Time to investigate," Maya decided. "Set course, standard approach protocol." As the Resilience altered its trajectory, Dr. Rodriguez worked with the ship's AI to analyze the signal more thoroughly. After several minutes, she looked up. "Captain, I believe we got a partial translation." "Let's hear it." The bridge speakers emitted a series of musical tones, followed by a synthesized voice. "Urgent. Assistance required. Orbital bombardment. Civilian colony. Please respond." The atmosphere on the bridge shifted instantly from excitement to tension. "A distress call," Maya said quietly. "Jackson, tactical assessment when we arrive. Maximum sensor range. I want to know what we're walking into." "Aye, Captain." The Resilience dropped out of FTL at the edge of the binary system, sensors immediately scanning for threats. What they found confirmed their worst fears. 6 large vessels in orbit around the third planet, Jackson reported, his voice tight. Energy signatures suggest weapons discharge. Orbital bombardment confirmed. Life signs on the planet? Maya asked. Elena consulted her readings, approximately 12,000, concentrated in what appears to be a settlement. Environmental readings show rapidly deteriorating conditions, atmospheric toxins increasing. Maya's jaw tightened. Earth's protocols were clear. Do not interfere in conflicts between alien species. First contact should be carefully orchestrated, methodical, and conducted after extensive observation. But there was also the humanitarian directive. Captain, her first officer, Commander David Chen, spoke quietly beside her. Standing orders are explicit about non-interference. So is the oath we took to preserve life. Maya countered, making her decision. Yellow alert. Open a channel on all frequencies. As the crew prepared for potential conflict, Maya squared her shoulders before the view screen. This is Captain Maya Vega of the Terran exploration vessel Resilience. We are responding to a distress call. We request immediate cessation of hostilities and open dialogue. Silence stretched across the void. No response, Captain, Hiroshi reported. Jackson straightened suddenly at his console. Enemy vessels altering formation. 2 are breaking off and heading toward our position. Red alert. Shields up. Arm phase cannons and torpedo bays, Maya ordered. But do not fire unless I give the command. The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency as the Resilience prepared for combat. Maya watched the approaching alien vessels with grim determination. They resembled nothing in Earth's database. Sleek, angular craft with hulls that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Captain, I'm receiving a transmission from the planet's surface, Hiroshi called out. They're using our communication protocols. How is that possible? David asked. They must have analyzed our transmission pattern and adapted, Elena said, unable to hide her excitement despite the circumstances. Remarkable technological capability. On screen, Maya ordered. The view screen flickered before resolving into the image of a humanoid figure. Its skin was a luminescent blue with delicate, almost translucent features. Large, multifaceted eyes dominated a face that seemed both ancient and childlike. Terran vessel. The being spoke, its voice melodious despite obvious distress. I am First Guardian Ilara of the Lumidian Collective. Your language adaptation is impressive. First Guardian, Maya responded. This is Captain Vega. We received your distress call. Can you tell us what's happening? The Void Hunters found our research outpost, Ilara explained, her large eyes blinking rapidly. They seek our biotech and quantum technology. They care nothing for life, only resources. Her voice faltered. Our environmental shields are failing. The toxins they've released into our atmosphere. We cannot survive exposure for much longer. How much time do you have? Less than 30 of your hours before critical failure. Ilara's voice dropped. Please, we are scientists, not warriors. Maya nodded firmly. We'll do what we can. Stand by. As the transmission ended, Jackson moved closer. Captain, those ships are closing fast. Orders. Maya studied the tactical display. The Resilience was outnumbered and likely outgunned, but she hadn't come this far to retreat. Evasive maneuvers. Target their weapon systems only. I want to disable, not destroy. She paused. And keep broadcasting our intent to protect the colony. Maybe someone in their command structure will listen to reason. The Resilience banked sharply as the first alien vessel fired. A sickly green energy beam grazed their shields. Shields holding at 91%, Jackson reported. That was just a warning shot. They could have hit us directly. They're testing us, Maya muttered. Let's show them we're not easily intimidated. Return fire, disabling shots only. The Resilience's phase cannons lashed out, striking the lead vessel with surgical precision. The alien ship shuddered but continued its approach. Minimal effect, Jackson reported. Their hull composition is unlike anything in our database. Switch to torpedoes. Proximity detonation. I want to rattle them, not destroy them. 2 photon torpedoes streaked toward the Void Hunter vessels, detonating just ahead of their projected course. The resulting shock wave disrupted their formation, forcing them to veer off temporarily. They're regrouping, Jackson observed, and the other 4 ships are maintaining their positions above the colony. Maya's mind raced. The Resilience couldn't take on all 6 vessels, but they couldn't abandon the Lumidians either. Hiroshi, can you establish a secure link to the colony's environmental systems? Possibly, Captain. Their technology seems compatible with ours. Do it. Alina, I need an analysis of those toxins and potential countermeasures. As her crew worked, Maya addressed the tactical situation. Jackson, we need a diversion. Something to draw those ships away from the colony long enough for us to deploy assistance. Jackson thought for a moment. The gas giant at the edge of the system. If we could ignite some of the hydrogen in its upper atmosphere, it would create one hell of a light show. Maya nodded. Make it happen. The Resilience executed a series of evasive maneuvers, drawing the pursuing Void Hunter vessels away from the colony while approaching the massive gas giant. At precisely the right moment, the ship fired a modified torpedo into the swirling clouds. The explosion ignited hydrogen across hundreds of kilometers, creating a spectacular conflagration visible throughout the system. As expected, the display attracted the attention of the Void Hunter forces. 4 of their 6 vessels moved to investigate the potential threat, leaving just 2 to maintain the blockade. Now's our chance, Maya said. Hiroshi, status on that link. Established, Captain. We have limited access to their environmental systems. Alina, the toxins. They're primarily fluorine-based compounds. We can neutralize them with a calcium-based solution. There are natural deposits on the planet's surface that could be processed quickly with our technology. Maya nodded. Then we need boots on the ground. David, assemble an away team, environmental suits, scientific personnel, and a security detail. Captain, Jackson interrupted. The 2 remaining Void Hunter vessels have detected our maneuver. They're moving to intercept, and I estimate we have maybe 15 minutes before the others realize they've been tricked. Maya's expression hardened. Then we have 15 minutes to deploy that away team and establish a defensive perimeter. Make it happen. As the bridge crew sprang into action, Maya gazed at the beautiful blue world on the view screen, home to thousands of souls counting on humans they'd never met before today. First contact is always unpredictable, she murmured. But no one said it would be a firefight. The landing party materialized on the surface of Lumidian Prime amid chaos. Commander David Chen led the 12-person team. 4 security officers, 4 scientists, 2 engineers, and 2 medical personnel, all clad in environmental suits. The air around them shimmered with toxic vapors, turning the sky an unnatural green. Secure the perimeter, David ordered. Dr. Patel, begin environmental assessment. The security team formed a protective circle while the scientists deployed their equipment. They had transported to a location half a kilometer from the Lumidian colony, a collection of crystal-like structures now visibly damaged from orbital bombardment. Dr. Lakshmi Patel, the Resilience's chief xenobiologist, scanned the surroundings. Toxin levels are even higher than our sensors indicated. The Lumidians wouldn't survive more than minutes in this atmosphere. Can we neutralize it? David asked. Yes, but we'll need access to those mineral deposits. She pointed to a ridge about 2 kilometers distant. And we'll need time to process them. David nodded grimly. Time is the one thing we don't have. He tapped his communicator. Chen to Resilience. We're on the surface. Environmental situation critical. Requesting transport to secondary coordinates. Maya's voice crackled through. Negative, Commander. The Void Hunters have established a jamming field. No more transports until we disable it. You're on your own down there. Understood. We'll proceed on foot. Chen out. He turned to the team. Change of plans. We move to those deposits fast. Security, take point. Scientists in the center. Let's move. As the team began their trek, they observed the landscape around them, once lush with crystalline vegetation, now withering under the toxic assault. In the distance, they could see Void Hunter ground forces, hulking, armored figures moving with mechanical precision toward the colony. Those aren't exosuits, Lieutenant Wen, the security lead, observed. Those are their actual bodies. Dr. Patel's eyes widened behind her visor. They're silicon-based life forms. The toxins, they're not weapons, they're terraforming agents. They're making this planet habitable for themselves. The realization hit the team hard. This wasn't just an attack. It was an extinction event. They quickened their pace, reaching the mineral ridge as the first Void Hunter patrol detected them. The silicon-based aliens moved with surprising speed for their bulk, communication sounding like crystalline fractures. Take cover, David ordered as the first energy blast struck the rocks around them. The security team returned fire, their weapons having minimal effect on the Void Hunters' crystalline bodies. One shot from Lieutenant Wen found a weak point, shattering a Void Hunter soldier into fragments. Aim for the joints, she called out. While the security team engaged the patrol, the scientists worked frantically to collect and process the minerals. Dr. Patel converted the ship's portable synthesizer to create a compound that would neutralize the fluorine toxins. We need 10 more minutes, she shouted over the weapons fire. We don't have 10 minutes, David replied as he spotted more Void Hunter forces approaching their position. He tapped his communicator again. Chen to Resilience. We're under attack. We need support. Above the planet, Maya listened to her first officer's desperate call as the Resilience engaged in its own battle with the Void Hunter vessels. Hang on, David, she said grimly. Humanity's coming. The wrath of Earth. Captain, we're losing shields. Jackson called out as another barrage from the Void Hunter vessels rocked the resilience. Down to 41%. Maya gripped the arms of her command chair. On the view screen, the two alien vessels maneuvered with disturbing precision, boxing in the human ship. Above her head, warning lights flashed as damage reports flooded in from all decks. "What's the status of the away team?" she demanded. Hiroshi's fingers flew across his console. "Still under fire. They've reached the mineral deposits but are pinned down by Void Hunter ground forces. And the diversion. The other 4 ships are returning. They've realized it was a trick." Maya's mind raced. Conventional tactics wouldn't work against these odds. They needed something unexpected, something the Void Hunters wouldn't anticipate. Something human. "Lieutenant Rodriguez," she called to the weapons officer. "What's the ambient temperature of the Void Hunter ships?" Helena checked her readings. "Near freezing, Captain. Their silicon-based biology likely requires cold temperatures. And the melting point of silicon, approximately 1,414 degrees Celsius. But Elena's eyes widened as she realized what Maya was suggesting. "Captain, you're not thinking." "I absolutely am." Maya turned to her chief engineer over the comm. "Commander Park, I need you to modify our shield emitters to project a focused thermal beam." "That's not what shields are designed for, Captain," came the skeptical reply. "No, but shields are energy. Energy is heat, and these silicon-based life forms won't handle heat well." Maya's eyes narrowed. "Make it happen." As the engineering team raced to implement the unorthodox modification, Maya opened a channel to the away team. "David, what's your situation?" "Not good." His voice came through punctuated by weapons fire. "We've got the minerals, but Paddle needs more time to synthesize the neutralizing compound. We're surrounded. Hold your position. Help is coming." Maya turned to Jackson. "Target the jamming field generators on the 2 ships in orbit. We're going to hit them with everything we've got." "Aye, Captain." "Commander Park, status on the shield modifications." "Ready, but I don't recommend this. We'll be completely defenseless." "Sometimes you have to sacrifice defense for offense," Maya replied. "All hands, brace for impact. Divert all remaining power to the modified shield emitters on my mark." The bridge crew secured themselves as the ship's computer counted down to the maneuver. Mark. The resilience suddenly went dark as every joule of power flooded into the shield emitters. Instead of projecting a defensive barrier, the emitters focused the energy into a searing thermal beam that lanced toward the nearest Void Hunter vessel. On impact, the effect was immediate and catastrophic. The silicon-based hull, designed to withstand conventional weapons, began to glow red-hot. Structural integrity alarms blared across the alien ship as its very substance began to soften. "It's working," Jackson shouted. "Their hull is compromising." "Target the second ship before they adapt," Maya ordered. The thermal beam swung toward the second vessel, repeating the devastating effect. Within moments, both Void Hunter ships were drifting, their systems failing as their hulls cooled and hardened in deformed configurations. "Power restoration in progress," the computer announced as emergency systems came back online. "The jamming field is down," Hiroshi reported. "Transport the away team back immediately," Maya ordered, "and prepare for immediate departure." "Captain," Elena interrupted, "the other 4 Void Hunter vessels are returning at maximum speed. ETA 3 minutes. Maya nodded grimly. "Hiroshi, open a channel to the Void Hunter fleet." When the communication was established, Maya stood before the view screen. The image that appeared showed a crystalline entity, geometric and alien in every way. "This is Captain Vega of the Resilience. We've disabled 2 of your vessels without destroying them. A demonstration of restraint, not weakness." The crystalline being made a series of sharp sounds that the translator interpreted. "You interfere in matters beyond your understanding, carbon form. This world is claimed." "No, it isn't," Maya countered. "It belongs to the Lumidians, and now it's under the protection of Earth. Your single vessel cannot stand against our fleet." Maya smiled then, a cold expression that didn't reach her eyes. "Perhaps, but you should know something about humans before you continue this conflict. We come from a death world, a high-gravity, radiation-bathed planet with extreme temperature variations, tectonic instability, and aggressive biology." She leaned forward. "Everything on our world evolved to kill. To survive, we became the apex predators of a planet designed for extinction. And unlike you, we're not silicon. We don't shatter. We bend, we bleed, and then we get back up." Maya gestured to the disabled ships. That was one vessel with improvised weapons. Imagine what an entire fleet of Death World engineers could design specifically for silicon-based targets. The Void Hunter commander was silent for a long moment. "You threaten extinction." "No. I offer a choice. Withdraw your forces. Leave this system. Find uninhabited worlds for your expansion. Or discover what happens when you threaten a species under human protection." The transmission cut abruptly. "They're conferring," Hiroshi reported. "The 4 returning vessels have slowed their approach." Minutes passed in tense silence before Hiroshi looked up again. "Captain, the Void Hunter vessels are altering course. They're retrieving their disabled ships and withdrawing from the system." A cheer went up across the bridge, quickly silenced by Maya's raised hand. "Status of the away team." "Successfully transported aboard," David's voice came through. Dr. Patel synthesized enough of the neutralizing compound. "We've transmitted the formula to the Lumidians. They can produce it in quantity to restore their atmosphere." Maya nodded, allowing herself a small smile. "Well done, everyone. Stand down from Red Alert." As the crisis subsided, Maya retreated to her ready room and activated her personal log. Captain's log, May 23, 2183. Today, humanity made first contact with 2 alien species, the Lumidians, whom we saved, and the Void Hunters, whom we deterred. I violated at least 3 first contact protocols. I'm fully prepared to face the consequences of those decisions when we return to Earth. But I believe our actions today represent the best of humanity, not our technology or our tactics, but our unwavering determination to protect the innocent, even at great risk to ourselves. If I face court-martial for that, so be it. The universe should know, when the desperate call, humanity answers. 3 days later, as the Resilience prepared to depart the Lumidian system, First Guardian Ilara requested a final meeting with Captain Vega. The 2 leaders stood in the ship's observation lounge, looking down at the recovering planet below. "The atmospheric restoration is proceeding more rapidly than we anticipated," Ilara said, her multifaceted eyes reflecting the starlight. "Our people will survive, thanks to you." "We did what any sentient species should do," Maya replied. Ilara turned to face her, head tilted in a gesture the humans had learned indicated curiosity. "No, Captain Vega, what you did was uniquely human. We have studied thousands of spacefaring civilizations. Many are peaceful traders, others are conquerors, some are explorers." Her voice took on a musical quality. "But humans, you are protectors. You risk yourselves for others without calculation of profit or advantage. It is as rare as it is precious." Maya considered this. "We come from a harsh world. Perhaps that teaches compassion. Perhaps." Ilara gestured to a small crystalline object she had brought with her. "The Lumidian Council has voted unanimously to establish formal diplomatic relations with Earth. This contains our stellar charts, cultural database, and technological knowledge, freely given." Maya accepted the gift with appropriate gravity. "Earth will reciprocate in kind." "We have also transmitted warnings about the Void Hunters through our communication network. Your reputation precedes you now, humans." Ilara's features arranged themselves in what Maya had learned was a smile. "The Deathworlders who answer distress calls. It makes for a powerful legend." After Ilara departed, Maya stood alone at the viewport, watching as the azure world slowly receded from view. First Officer David joined her, handing her a data tablet. "Subspace communication from Earth Command," he said quietly. "They've reviewed our preliminary report." Maya braced herself. And they're sending a diplomatic corps and a permanent protection fleet. The Lumidians are being offered provisional alliance status. David couldn't hide his surprise. "They're calling your actions an exemplary representation of Earth's principles." Maya's eyebrows rose. "No court-martial." "Quite the opposite. Apparently, Starfleet prefers captains who can make the hard calls." He grinned, though they did suggest reviewing first contact protocols for possible revision. "Well," Maya said, allowing herself a genuine smile, "I suppose we've written a new chapter in those protocols today." As the Resilience engaged its FTL drive, leaving the Lumidian system in a flash of light, word was already spreading across the sector. A new species had emerged from their death world, not conquering, not trading, but protecting. They called themselves humans, and they answered when called. In the void between stars, a Void Hunter command vessel received reports from multiple outposts. The encounter with the human ship had been disseminated throughout their collective. The commander processed this information with the cold calculation of silicon logic. The conclusion was inescapable. These humans represented a new variable in their expansion equation, not because of their technology, which was primitive by comparison, not because of their numbers, which were surely limited. No, the humans were dangerous because they were unpredictable. They had faced superior forces without hesitation. They had improvised weapons from defensive systems. They had risked their own existence for aliens they had just met. Such behavior defied logical analysis. For the first time in their long history, the Void Hunters adjusted their territorial algorithms to account for a new parameter: avoid systems under human protection. The cost-benefit ratio was unfavorable. Meanwhile, across several sectors, distress calls began including a new piece of information in their mathematical patterns, coordinates for a small, unassuming yellow star where a world of protectors had evolved against all odds. Earth was no longer just a planet. It had become a promise. Help was coming.